Welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're looking at something maybe a bit unexpected, but definitely relevant to almost everyone: email sign offs.
Right. Not exactly ancient codes, but
Well,
maybe just as complex sometimes.
exactly. We're working from a piece called Episode 76: Email sign offs that sound like threats, best, regards, and other lies. Quite the title.
It is, yeah. And our mission today basically is to kind of decode these little digital goodbyes. What are they really saying?
Mm-hmm. Because it feels like they can carry a lot of hidden weight, doesn't it? You spend ages on the email body.
And then the sign off just changes everything. It's fascinating.
Okay, so let's get into it. The source talks about the 7 deadly sign-offs. First one, best.
Ah, best. The classic.
The translation given here is pretty blunt. I barely respect you.
Ouch. Yeah. And the suggested use is when you have to reply, but you really don't care much.
So what makes it feel so, I don't know, cold? Is it just that it's short?
I think that's a big part of it, yeah. It's efficient, maybe too efficient, like you said. No warmth, no pleasantries,
Yeah.
purely transactional.
Right. If you usually get a warmer sign-off, suddenly getting just best can feel like a bit of a slapdown.
Definitely. A clear signal they're pulling back, not looking for connection.
Okay. Moving on. Next up, regards.
Okay.
This one apparently translates to, I despise you professionally. Whoa!
That's quite a step up from barely respect you.
Right. And the use case. Post-argument emails where you need a truce, but maybe not a real one.
Yeah, like, okay, we're done fighting, but don't think we're friends. It's super formal, very distant, acknowledges the end of the conversation, but zero warmth.
It's professional courtesy, but maybe the coldest kind.
Exactly. Hostilities over,
Yeah.
reconciliation, not so much.
Then we get to kind regards. Now, you'd think adding kind would soften it,
I
right?
would, logically.
But according to this source, nope. Hidden meaning, I will end you.
Okay, that's alarming.
And the use case. Final warning emails from HR.
Wow. Okay, so the kindness is actually what makes it sinister in that context. It's
Huh.
too polite for this situation.
Right. That contrast between the word kind
Mhm.
and the, underlying message of you're in deep trouble creates this really unsettling, ominous vibe.
It's a perfect example of context flipping the meaning completely upside down. That's wild.
Okay, next. Thanks in advance.
Oh, this one. We've all been there.
The translation, you will do this. No ambiguity there. Use case. Assigning work someone probably doesn't want.
Yeah, it just jumps right over the asking part, doesn't it? It turns a request into an expectation.
Mm-hmm. It puts you in a position where saying no feels like you're already letting them down, a subtle pressure tactic.
Totally. That preemptive thanks locks you in.
All right, how about cheers? This one feels lighter. Translation, I could be drunk.
Okay.
Use case, email sent at 4:59 p.m. on a Friday.
That actually makes a lot of sense for some emails I've seen. It's very casual.
But is it always friendly? Or can it backfire?
It really depends, I think. On the workplace culture, your relationship with the person, it can be fine, friendly even.
Yeah.
But to sometimes, maybe too casual, depending on who you're sending it to.
Okay, fair enough. Now here's one that sounds nice. Warm regards.
Sounds lovely, doesn't it? Warm.
Except the translation is, I hate you personally.
Oof.
and
Okay, another twist.
the use case, passive-aggressive vendettas. Why does warm suddenly feel so icy here?
It's the performance of warmth, I think. When you sense the underlying feeling is negative, that exaggerated pleasantness feels incredibly fake.
So the warmth highlights the lack of actual warmth.
Exactly. It amplifies the passive aggression because it feels so insincere. That contrast is just jarring.
Okay, last one on the deadly list. Sent from my iPhone.
The universal disclaimer.
Translation, I did not proofread this.
Right.
Use case, basically excusing typos, abruptness, tone problems.
We all use it, right? It's handy. Sorry if this is brief-ass typos. Send on the go.
But does it always work? Or can it seem lazy?
It probably depends on how often you use it and for what. If every email has it, maybe it starts to look like you don't care about checking your messages. But for a quick reply, it's usually fine. A necessary evil of mobile life, maybe.
We actually have a listener story connected to this. Someone used best with their boss.
Okay.
The boss replied, very best, just that.
Ooh, questioning the sign-off. Passive-aggressive boss move.
Apparently. Because the sender felt so scrutinized or undermined by that reply, they quit.
They quit over a sign-off clarification.
Wow. I know. It just shows how much weight these things can carry and how easily wires can get crossed.
That's incredible. It really highlights the sensitivity, doesn't it? A tiny thing escalated massively.
Okay, so clearly it's easy to accidentally sound hostile or dismissive, but what if you need to sound nice, even if you're maybe faking it a bit?
Right, damage control for your tone. The source has tips for how to sound nice when you're not.
First is the exclamation armor trick using thanks. Apparently signals I'm not a monster.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the exclamation point adds energy. The smiley adds visual friendliness.
So even if you're just saying thanks because you have to, this combo softens it, makes it seem less abrupt.
Pretty much. It throws on a quick coat of positivity, even if it's just surface level.
Okay, then there's the name softener move.
Hmm.
This one's weird. Going from just your first name, like Best, your name,
Uh-huh.
to using your full name, Best, your full name, supposedly translates to I could sue you.
Wait, really? That's quite a jump from friendly to legal threat.
I know. What's the logic there? Is it just the formality?
I think so. Using the full name creates distance, adds formality. In a tense situation, maybe that formality feels like a subtle warning, a reminder of who you are in a professional, potentially adversarial sense.
So less I'm gonna sue, literally, and more this is serious professional business now.
Yeah, that seems more plausible. It ups the official stakes, maybe.
Gotcha. Next, the no regards power play. This is just signing off with your name, nothing else. Your name.
Right. Minimalist.
And the meaning. I outrank you.
Okay, that one I can see. It suggests you're important enough that you don't need the pleasantries.
A bit of a power move then. Confident, maybe arrogant, depending on context.
Could be perceived either way, yeah. Definitely signals hierarchy if it's coming from someone higher up.
And finally, a simple pro tip. Never use yours truly. Unless...
Unless you're a ghost from the 19th century, apparently.
Noted. Yeah, that one definitely feels out of time in an email.
Totally archaic. Sounds like you're signing off a handwritten letter with a quill pen.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Cultural sign-off wars. Because these things aren't universal, are they?
Absolutely not. Big differences.
So in America, we established best is often just seen as minimal effort. Efficient, maybe a bit lazy, but common.
Yeah, kind of the default neutral setting for many.
In Britain, cheers might actually be sarcastic.
Really, I always read cheers as just friendly, like, thanks.
Apparently not always. The source suggests it can have a sarcastic edge in the UK, depending on the vibe.
Huh. Good to know. Context is everything, I guess. Especially with the Brits.
And then there's Australia, if someone signs off with ta.
Ta, like TA.
Yep. The source claims this means, yes, I am drunk.
Ah,
Seriously.
that's what it's. I mean, it's super informal, right?
Right.
So maybe using it in a work email implies a, let's say, very relaxed state.
Okay, mentally filing that one away for any Aussie colleagues. Ta equals proceed with caution.
We also got a listener hack related to this. Someone suggested alternating between thanks and regards.
Why? Just to keep people off balance.
Exactly, to keep them guessing about your mood or intention. Strategic ambiguity in your sign-offs.
At a whole other level of email game theory. Wow. Introducing unpredictability.
All right. Okay, finally. The source throws down a challenge. Listener challenge. Sign-off spy.
Ooh, intriguing. What does the sign-off spy do?
Well, the tasks are things like spot a suspicious kind regards, maybe from someone you just argued with. See if it feels sinister now.
Okay, applying the knowledge. Makes sense. Test out the thanks. Shield use thanks. On an email where the tone might be a bit risky otherwise, see if it softens the landing.
Right. Deploy the exclamation armor.
And deploy send from iPhone strategically. Maybe even add a playful lie like, sorry for typos, sent from a beach.
Uh-huh. Okay, using the disclaimer for plausible deniability or wishful thinking.
Ah. And there's an example given. Someone actually tried signing off warm regards to their HR department.
Uh-oh. Knowing what we now suspect about warm regards, how did that go?
They got a phone call. HR apparently wanted to check if everything was okay.
Wow. So HR picked up on that potentially negative subtext of warm regards. That's amazing.
It really shows these things can have real consequences, or at least people are reading into them, consciously or not.
Definitely. It's not just in our heads. These little words are doing communicative work.
So wrapping this up, we've gone through quite a journey, haven't we? From best, meaning I barely respect you, to kind regards as a potential threat.
We've seen how to maybe sound nicer than we feel and how different cultures interpret these things. It's surprisingly deep territory.
It really is. The sheer amount of unspoken stuff packed into one or two words at the end of a message is kind of mind-blowing.
It makes you pause before hitting send, doesn't it? Think a bit more carefully about that final word.
Absolutely. So the final thought for you listening, now that you're armed with this knowledge of potential sign-off subtext, how does it change things?
Yeah. How will you read your inbox differently tomorrow? Will you choose your own sign-offs with more intention?
What new layers of email psychology have just been unlocked?
Yep.
Definitely something to ponder.